Any organization that stops recruiting is dying, and how many of you have seen it with your own eyes? Organizations that die when you stop talking to people, okay? Then there's a presentation every Sunday. There's a presentation every single Sunday. Sometimes on a Wednesday night as well. And then on those Sundays, they make announcements where they're trying to sell people to volunteer for some program. If they actually learned that it was a sales process, they would never be begging people on a Sunday to volunteer. They would never be begging people, okay? Closing the deal. If they learned how to close, they'd have salvations daily. Every time they spoke, there'd be salvations. But because most of them are afraid to do that call, they're afraid to ask the closing question. Do you hearing me? And because they don't know how to do what I call attack and confess. The attack and confess is this: handling the objections you know is in the minds of the people. Handling the objections in their mind and telling the truth. Now get your butts down here right now and give your lives to him. That doesn't happen in thousands of churches all over the world, and it's really sad because they don't know the process. Follow up. This is where a lot of people miss it. Is in the follow-up. There is none. And usually the follow-up is criticism. You better stop drinking. You better stop running around with them women. Honey, you're showing too much cleavage. You need to change that if you're going to come here. They can't figure out how come no one's showing up. Instead of, guess what on-the-job training is? Discipleship. On-the-job training is discipleship. Duplication is the fruit of that discipleship. Leadership development is the highest form of that discipleship. Most people stop at the exposure, and all they do is repeat the same presentation every week. The same thing. The same thing. My friends, it is very simple to cross over from 98 and 2%. It is so simple. Over by using these things. So I gave you some understanding about exposure. How many of you learned of a couple of different ways to expose that you weren't exposing? Okay. I built several businesses where I had one-to-one exposure. I built several businesses where I had group exposure. We've now used the internet also for exposure. This is also exposure right here. This is exposure. Anytime that I've done a corporate event speaking for a corporation, that is exposure. Okay. And in that exposure, this process happens, this entire process to here. And then as through time, we develop the rest of these processes. Okay, so the initial contact. Let's talk about that initial contact here for just a minute. With the initial contact, again, do not reveal your agenda. I'm not saying hide your agenda, but I want you to find out what's the agenda of the other person first. What matters to them first? Then you will see where there will be a match for you and for them. Do you understand? So honor them by first finding out what matters most to them. Form them, family, occupation, recreation, and message, right, that you learned in the core module. When you do that, you're going to find out what their needs are. Remember I talked to you earlier about the sign, the strengths. Which were Paul's strengths? He was driven, and he's not a quitter, right? That was one of his strengths, right? His interests, what were his interests? Horses, right, and what? Business, making lots of money, okay? His goals, we didn't necessarily get there. Oh, I'm sorry, we did get there. Having a baby. Having a baby was one of his goals, okay? Needs, everything seemed to be going really good. He's still in that honeymoon stage. Everything seems to be fine. Not always do you find the answer to all 4 of those questions. But your goal is definitely to find the answer to 4 of those questions if you can. Sometimes you can, sometimes you can't, okay? So through the sign, in that initial contact, in the interview. Now, let me tell you why I call it an interview versus a prospecting call. All right. You see, when you come from the mindset of I got to prospect somebody, that comes from the mindset of I got to sell this person on wanting to come and do what I do. Or I have to sell this person on buying my service. Let me flip this thing around for you. It's so much fun and so awesome. The reason why I failed miserably when I first got started in business is because my whole focus was trying to make you want what I have. And it didn't work. But then what I learned how to do is I learned how to interview, which flipped the tables on my prospect. And the tables that was flipped was this. Here's the prime example. 3 years ago this month, we were putting a house on the market to sell. And when we were putting the house on the market, what I did was I called several different real estate companies and I asked for who the number 1 salesperson was in each one of their companies. They put the person on the phone. I said, I'm interviewing right now for a real estate agent. And I'm looking for somebody to have a long-term business relationship with We may or may not be looking to buy and sell many homes through the years, and I would love to be able to work with one individual that I can trust can do the kind of job that I'm looking for. So I'm setting up and I'm interviewing 5 different companies. The best from 5 different companies are going to be interviewed at my house. So what time will you be available? I'd love to hear what it is that you can do. So I had all 5 of these agents show up, and I interviewed them all. Not one of them asked me any questions about myself or what I did and how many kids I had and why I wanted to sell my house and why I was interested in real estate. Not one. No small wonder that they are starving right now and don't have a consistent clientele. Because not one of them had the skill to even understand, to find out, who is this woman? Why does she want to sell her house? What kind of house is she looking to buy? They didn't care. Guess what they walked in and did? Their initial contact with me was this. Hi, my name is John, and I'm going to tell you I am the best agent here at Prudential, and I have the best track record, and I will do the best, and I will sell your house in record time. In fact, I did a little bit of market research, and I think I could sell your house for X amount of dollars, which is like inflated by at least $70,000, okay? Over promise, under deliver, okay? I already researched the market. I knew what my house was worth and what it wasn't worth. And so all he did was sell me on how great he was. Here came a woman, did the same thing. All 5 of these agents, all they did was try to sell me on how great they were. Guess what that made me do? Not one of them sold my house. Do you know that? Not one of them sold my house, almost for a year. House stayed on the market, they did not sell the house. Okay? So watch. However, what I did do in this interviewing process is I negotiated a lesser commission. You don't get it, do you? You don't get it. There's a 6% commission when an agent sells the house. 3% goes to the broker, 3% to the agent. Because I was interviewing and they knew I wasn't going to pick that day, many of them came to me saying, I will list your house and I will give up 2% to get your listing. Cool. I'll give you a call tomorrow. Next. Do you understand? Put you in a negotiating position if you're interviewing. Same with contractors. I had a house that we needed to fix up. So this is what I did. I called all the contractors, that had an appealing, somewhat good-looking advertising, that they actually knew what they were doing with advertising, and it looked like they were pouring money into it. So I knew there was some kind of success based on that. Okay. I also called people that I knew to find out, who do you trust to build things, who actually gets the job done. So out of that, I wound up with a couple of contractors. I called and I said, I'm interviewing right now for a long-term business relationship, looking for a contractor that is able to get the job done and get it done quickly with good, high quality. I don't really know who I'm going to pick as of yet, but I am setting up some interviews here at my house. I'd like to meet you at the property at 1 o'clock on Friday. If you're yes, ma'am, sure, I'll be right there. Interviewed several of these contractors, and guess what happened? I found the best one at the best price who got it done in the least amount of time. And why? You see, it wasn't about just that one house getting done when I needed to get done. Guess what it was about? Future projects is what he was after. So he was willing to negotiate and show off his stuff to count on building me a house someday or getting something else done. And that's what I had told him. I'm looking for a long-term relationship. How many of you have hired contractors who have not gotten the job done? And how many of you that has wasted your time and money? So this solved the problem of something being unfinished forever. It solved the problem of me wasting money and time and having to find 3 more contractors to finish the job that the first guy didn't do. Why? Because he knew there was something on the line. Where did he know that was on the line? Future projects. Okay, do you see how I flipped the table? Did any of you just learn something here? Yeah, that's actually called leveraging. Okay, so interview, don't sell. Interview, flip the table. So if you're somebody that is in sales, this is what you say. It's the same thing right now. We are interviewing for a publisher. Okay, it's the same thing. I taught this to Holly. You ready? It's the same for publishers. Our whole thing was to go produce results. And as we produce results, then publishers would start coming to us. And sure enough, that's exactly what's happened. And so guess what we're saying? Well, we've already had one offer from a publisher. And it's a big fatty offer. For a first-time author, I shouldn't be getting what they're offering. But at the same time, we know that we can do just fine on our own. We know that. We also know how much is in it for them. And we're after a long-term business relationship. And so sure enough, this is what we've said. Hey, listen, just to give you a heads up, rather than us going and selling a publisher on us, hear me. How many of you have something that you need to sell to somebody? If you flip the tables to this, where they have to sell you, tables. So rather than me going to a publisher and say, I have a book, it's really awesome, it's really amazing, and you're really gonna love it. People really like it. Rather than that, you flip the table and you say, hi, Mr. Publisher, just to put you on notice, we are interviewing several different publishing houses right now. We're looking for a long-term business relationship because we have 6 books on the table right now as we speak. And we don't really quite know who it is that we want to work with, and we're really looking for who can produce results and who can meet the promises in which they give. So we're not sure who we're going to work with, but we are going to be conducting some interviews to see which one is going to really fit the project the best. Well, right off the gate, buddies, right off the gate, offered 3 times more money for a first-time author. Right off the gate. Why? Because we did not go, please, please, please publish my book. Please, please do business with me. Please buy my CDs. Please, please come. You have to do this. You're really going to love my service. It's really awesome and it's amazing. No, that's not how you prospect. You flip the table when you prospect. And you put the one that needs your product or service on the other side. And you say, I am conducting interviews right now. I don't know if this is going to work for you or not. It may or it may not. I don't know. All I do know is why don't we get together, we can discuss some of the information, and we'll see whether or not it is a match. If not, that's fine. If so, well, then we take the next step. Make sense? Good. Did that help any of you? Okay, but if your initial contact is a sales pitch instead of an interview, you will lose it and build a wall of tension right away. Okay? For those of you that are in a home business, how does that work for you? Works like this. You have a friend on your list to call, okay? And with that list, and by the way, please write this down. I don't care what you do or where you come from. You need to have a list of resources for your personal life and your professional life. You need a personal list of resources. If you're trying to get a music project off the ground, if you're trying to market some vitamins or legal services, if you're trying to market homes, trying to market a ministry, if you're trying to market dental services, legal services, or medical services, I don't care what it is that you're trying to expose out there. There is one easy way. Hey, check this out. Even if you're trying to look for a job, even if you're trying to look for a better job, how many of you want a great secret on how you can have at the touch of a finger whatever it is that you need instantly? Here it is. Make yourself a list of resources of every single person you've ever met in your entire life. Make a list of resources of anyone you've ever done business with in the past, every job you've ever worked, all your family members, all of your cousins and your aunts, and those extended adopted family members. Make a long list of every single person you've ever come in contact with. What you do with that list is you contact them and you interview. Now that script book back there works for every profession that is in this room, okay? And in here, these are scripts that interview. It flips the tables. So it looks something like this. Let's say that you've developed a skincare line or something like that. And you want to get this skincare line into spas, okay? You want to get into a spa, okay? How many of you have a product or service that is a fit? In other words, you're not the end user, but you're the wholesaler. How many of you have something like that? You're the wholesaler, meaning you can get it into somebody else that will retail it for you. How many of you have something like that? Okay. So that you flip it in interview and you use your own list of resources, everybody you've ever met in your entire life, to cultivate the connection, the third-party connection. And so what that looks like is this. Hey, Sally, you know what? I know that what I have is totally not going to work for you, but let me ask you, do you know of anybody that is in the spa business? And she says, well, sure, yeah, I do. I actually go to a spa down the street, really. Do you by any chance know who the owner of that salon is? Actually, I don't, but I know the person that does my massages, and they obviously know who that is. Is there any way you can give me their phone number? Because we are targeting and interviewing right now for just a few select key groups of people that are going to have access to our line. And it's not for everybody, but we're interviewing who are going to be the best possible relationships to be able to market what it is that we have. We don't want to mess with anybody that doesn't know what they're doing, and it has to be somebody that can represent something really, really well. So is there any way, can I get her name and phone number from you? There you go. There is a lead into that spa. So here's the lead in the spa. There's a script inside of these books that now teaches you how to make the phone call of what do you say to the massage therapist that you do not know. It's real simple. Hey, Joan, this is Danny. How's it going? It's going great. Hey, listen, Sally told me to give you a call. She's my cousin. And she said that you do massage. Well, yes, I do massage. Now, how long have you been doing massage? Well, I've been doing massage for quite a long time. I'm just going to do this normally. Who in here does massage? Come on up. Give her a hand. Okay. So here's the phone call. Remember, my sister Sally or my cousin Sally gave me the lead of somebody that does massage. She works in a spa. She can lead me to the owner of the spa. Okay? This all comes from a list of resources. You have access. Just remember earlier I promised you I can show you based on where you're at right now and everything that you have access to right now how to be able to explode what you do. Remember I promised you that? I'm showing you one example right now. And it's through that process right there, okay? So the exposure is coming through my list of resources. I then call her, and let's go ahead and play, okay? Crystal. All right, so, Crystal, ring, ring.
Hello.
Hi, Crystal.
Hi.
How's it going?
Good, how are you?
Okay, look, because I'm entering the conversation in a friendly way, she is disarmed. She's not thinking, this is someone trying to sell me something. Are you hearing me? Because it's a friendly way. If I called and said this, ring, ring.
Hello.
Hello, is Crystal Parrott available?
Just a moment. I'll check and see if she's there.
There you go. Why did she do that response versus the first one? Let me do that again. Hello, is Crystal Parrott available? This is Danny Johnson calling from XYZ Company.
I'm sorry, she's not hearing that. Can I take a message?
Because when I say, is Crystal Parrott there, she knows that I don't know her. So this is not dealing with the friends first concept that I taught you in the core rapport methodology. So then what this is now when I enter in a friendly way, hi Crystal, I'm assuming she's answering the phone. Hi Crystal, how's it going? Fine. In her mind, how many of you have friends that call you and they say, hey dude, how's it going? Da, 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 da. And you're like, keep talking please because I don't know who's talking to me. And you're hoping that you can figure out who it is. Come on, right? Yes, that's disarming. That's exactly where you want the prospect to be. The wall of tension has not been built up. And I would now say, you know what? My cousin Sally told me you do massage.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. How long have you been doing massage?
Oh, about a year and a half.
No way. How did you ever get started in massage?
Actually, I just started using some products actually that I used to do the massage and decided to leave my other job and get trained in that because I was just really enjoying it.
What was your other job?
I was actually a teacher before.
Were you really?
Yeah.
What did you teach?
I taught French immersion.
You taught what?
French immersion.
Tell me about that.
A French teacher, and I was teaching in a school where we were teaching all French during the day with a couple classes in English.
Wow. So that means you can speak it fluently?
Yes.
Wow.
I speak it probably more than English.
Do you really?
Yeah.
That is so incredible. Now, how long have you been doing massages with Sally?
About a year and a half.
No way.
Yeah.
Good for you. So, how many clients do you have?
Oh, I don't know, let's say 100.
Okay, now you were saying you were teaching French immersion. Was this to high school students, or?
I taught French immersion for 2 years in grade 5, and I taught 4.5 years of English as a second language in high school, and religion as in French was the first language.
My gosh. So did you like what you did?
No, I hated it, actually.
Did you really? Is there
Yeah.
anything that you liked about it?
Yeah, I like teaching. I just didn't like the conditions that were going on there.
Really? That's
Yeah.
really wild. So tell me, what do you like about doing massage?
I just like relating to people. I like to help them find out, what their difficulties are. Just many things, along there. Just, trying to help them to see how I can help them have a better, not even just the massage, just finding out, what's causing maybe the stress of why they're there and maybe helping them so they don't have to come back so often.
Really?
Yeah.
Gosh, you're a nice massage therapist.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Tell me, is there anything that you don't like about what you do?
I don't think so, no.
Really?
No.
That's so awesome. Now, how long have you worked at this spot?
A year and a half.
Really?
Yep.
So this is your first job from...
Right, I started here, yep.
That's so wild. Good for you. So, what is the most incredible experience that you've had with massage?
I work on massage with people's feet and their back with the massage that I do, the raindrop technique, and I actually had a man who had a fused hip. He was 57 years old. He didn't have feeling in his foot for 57 years, and I worked on him once, and he got the feeling back in his foot about 2 months ago.
Oh,
Let's just say I prayed as well, though, so.
That's so good.
Yeah.
How did that make you feel?
That was awesome. it felt awesome because, I knew that was something that he really wanted in his life. That was something that he struggled with for a long time. So
That's really wild. Now, you enjoy the coworkers that you have inside the salon?
yeah, I really like working with the other people. We have a good relationship here.
Now, how did you ever meet the owner to be able to even get the interview there?
Actually, I went to school with her.
Oh, you did? So
Yeah.
it's a friend of yours?
Yeah.
Really? Now, how long has she been in massage?
She's been working at this probably for 3 years now.
Wow. You know what? I'm down forever. You want to see them recover just like what you did with that 57-year-old man's fused hip, just through working with his foot. Because now he has feeling in his foot. I mean, that's just really amazing. Now, the owner, you said, was a friend of yours?
Yeah.
What was her name?
Jennifer.
Jennifer, that's really wild. The reason why I'm calling is because we actually are interviewing right now for a couple of different salons where we have a system that has been getting amazing results, and it can only be with salons that have really good teachers and people that understand how to be able to really want to help people and how that they would use what we have to really make a difference in people's lives. And it's got to be in the hands of somebody that has very high ethical standards. And so honestly, I'm just wondering, is Jennifer that kind of a person?
Yeah, I think we're kind of similar.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Hey, is there any way, I would love to, if there's any way that it would work for you, and if not, that's totally fine, that I could get you some information as to what our company has to offer, and then you can just kind of play around with it and see whether or not it'll work. If it doesn't, man, no hard feelings at all. We have a number of different salons that are taking a look at it right this minute, and we're really just looking for a good relational fit with people who really care about people and people that really want to see people get better and people that really want to teach other people how to be able to live their lives in a better way. Will that work for you?
Yeah, I'll give you Jennifer's number if you want it.
That would be awesome. That's what I was trying to get. Okay. That was a script, by the way. That was a script. That was a third-party script that's in the script book. And so the third party was just my name, Sally. That was the initial contact. She became very comfortable with me. I found out what her personality was. I was able to speak her language. She got me in the door to the owner of the salon. Do you understand? And wants to help me. Why? Because I honored her instead of trying to sell her. Make sense? But if I called and did something like this in the initial contact, ring, ring.
Hello?
Hi, Crystal Perry?
Yes.
Hi, this is Danny Johnson. I'm calling from XYZ Company. And I got to tell you, my friend Sally told me to give you a call. And I've got this amazing product that is absolutely phenomenal. I'm sure that you'll really, really enjoy it. In fact, I know that you're in massage, and I'm sure you're really great at that. But this is going to make you so much better.
I'm billing a client right now. Could you call back later?
Sure. How many of you have had that response? Did you just discover why? Yes. Do you understand? So that with the initial contact, and that was the third party. Give her a hand as she goes back. Good job, Krista. Thank you.